Yo, what's going on guys, it is Foxy98 here. Welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today, I'm going to give you guys a tutorial on how to mod on F1 2018. Now, there's not a load of tutorials out there on how to mod. I've had a lot of questions asked about how to mod as well on F1 2018. And so today, I'm actually going to show you guys how you can go ahead and mod on F1 2018. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. Today, we're starting off with just the liveries and the decals for any specific car. Now, before we get into it, obviously, there's going to be a couple of restrictions to this. Now, first of all, you can only mod F1 if you're playing on the PC. You cannot mod if you're playing on PS4 or if you're playing on Xbox. You can't mod on console. You can only mod on PC. So if you have a console, this doesn't really apply to you, but you can still watch anyway. If you don't and you have a PC and you don't know how to mod, I'm going to show you right now. So first of all, as you can see here, I've got a Photoshop document open. Now, I recommend that if you're going to be modding, you're going to either need Paint.net, which is a free software, or Photoshop. There may be some other softwares that are compatible with this. These are just the only two that I know, and with this tutorial, I'm going with what I know, not with what I don't know. So, as you can see here, I've got a 3D model of the car. Now, this is not mine. As you can see, if you go onto Race Department, now, if you're unsure as well of Race Department, this is a very good place where you can go ahead and you can go and find some skins, you can download some, and you can just have some fun, really, with some of the mods. Now, this one here, again, I'll obviously leave a link to everything that you'll need in the description down below. I'll leave a link to this as well. This is where you can go and find the 3D model, so shout out to the person that's made this. Basically, this is going to give you a perfect example of pretty much how you're actually doing with your mod, because otherwise you're just going to not know what you're doing. So, first of all, before you do anything, obviously, make sure that you've got a PC, you've got F1, you've got either Paint.net or Photoshop, because they're the only two that I know that works. And then obviously, you've downloaded this mod. Now, obviously, you don't have to download this mod. I'm not forcing you to. But it really will make things a lot easier for you in life if you do download this mod, because it basically allows you to see what you are changing. Once you've done that, you're going to have all 10 teams that will be available to use, and you can go ahead and you can start modding. When you open up the Photoshop document, you're going to get this right here. You're going to have a nice, beautiful Mercedes model, but we can't physically make any changes to it. On the right-hand side, just by here, we've got a bunch of different layers that we can go through and actually double-click and start making changes to, such as Mercedes driver, we've got decals, and much, much more. What we're going to be going to is Mercedes main paint, which is this one right here, _d.tif. If we double click on it, it's going to say that the texture Mercedes main paint is contained in this scene in multiple places. Changes to this texture will appear in all places. You're going to click OK, you don't not want to worry about that, and straight away here you have now got a wireframe and you've also got the paint. Before you get started with this, I highly recommend that when you get to this point here, where you've got Mercedes paint, you go ahead and you duplicate the layer and you give yourself a copy of it. This means that when you make loads and loads of changes, if you save the document by accident, it means that you'll no longer have a reference to the original Mercedes livery that you may have had. So I always recommend that you start keeping with one of those things. Now, I'm not going to go crazy with modding on this one now specifically because it takes some time, but straight away that you can start to see that, especially with this Mercedes car, there's elements that you'll know straight away. When you're modding, you can see that right here we've got a nice side pod, and you can see the side of the car, you've got the top side, and then you've also got obviously just the main sides. You've got the top layer, and you've got the bottom by there. This section right here, which I'll actually just get this out right here. So this section that you can see that I'm highlighting now is actually the front nose, and then obviously going down into the front wing just on the side end. This section right here is going to be the front wing end plate, and then we've got some other little bits and pieces which occur to the rear wing as well. So there's not a lot to really do about this one. What we're going to do is we're going to make this car look pretty much as... well, we're not going to make it ugly. So what we're going to do is, all for this one, we're just going to change the Mercedes to black. Now, you can go crazy with the details on the car. I'm specifically just making it nice and simple. Now, at this stage now, as we're ready to go, you can see, obviously, we can't actually do anything. If you're new to Photoshop, if you right-click, you need to go down to where it says Rasterize Layer. This will allow you to create edits for your actual piece. Now that that has been rasterized, we can go ahead and fill this in. So if I smash it all in black, that's kind of where we go on that one. And as you can see, that is now all in black. if we now go back over to this document here, the Mercedes model is going to update. It's updated to a black Mercedes. So you can see here straight away, you have already modded the Mercedes into black. You can see there are a few little areas here that aren't quite fully made into black, but you already understand what reference you're going to. And if we go back, you can continue to make constant edits all the way through. Everything that wasn't in black originally that you wanted in black earlier, if you just go ahead and highlight it, let's get everything in black. So let's just go and paint it all here. Yeah, black, black, black. Now it's going to be delayed, obviously. Depending on how good your PC is, you may be able to get these updates through straight away. Especially whilst I was modding, especially for the F1 journey, it was very, very difficult for everything to actually go through all at once. I had a lot of times when Photoshop crashed. If your PC isn't as massively strong, you may experience some crashes. What I recommend you do, especially with this, is you save on a very regular basis. So when you've made an edit just like this now, in this document here, you want to start then continuing to save it, because if it doesn't process things through, it starts to crash and it just gets on your nerves basically. So always, whenever you're trying to save something, always save it from here. You don't need to save this for it to save this, if that makes any sense. If you're going to try and save your work so far, like if you've done this bit and you want to go and make some other crazy stuff, just save from here, and then when you go back into your document, this will still be a black Mercedes. You can go into your main paint and you can continue to work on it. Now that we've got our black Mercedes right here and it's looking very, very nice indeed, we're going to go ahead now and pretty much just make the final touches to it. So as you can see, right now, this is the rear wing by here. We've got the front wing parts here, and we're really pretty much not going to make any other changes to it. We're just going to leave it at a black Mercedes. Like I said, you can go ahead and you can make all the changes that you want to your cars when it gets to it. The next one that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Mercedes _decal _da.tif. You're going to want to double click on this one, and again, it may tell you that you're going to make changes to stuff, but you're really not. Now, normally over on this side of things, now for some reason it doesn't work on mine. It's probably because I got a setting incorrect or something. But as you can see from the mods here, you'll be able to see where your decals are and how you're working with them. For me, they just don't show up, which I'm not don't quite know. Maybe I should click the tutorial, but whatever. It doesn't bother me that much because I understand where bits are. Now with the decal here, we can finally start working on, well, this main section. So as you can see, the Mercedes decal is, like I said before, going to be wireframed automatically for you thanks to this Photoshop document. I'm going to duplicate the layer once again, going to get a second one. It just means that if I make changes, I can go ahead and sort those out. Now, creating decals is going to be a little bit more difficult for you, so we're going to get straight into making some changes. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go on and get an image, and for this one, we're just going to get my YouTube channel logo. So let's go and get that one up. I should probably... There we go. So let's go and get my logo up. On here, we can see previous logos, one of my first ones ever. We're going to get my actual logo that I've got right now on. So if we copy this, we're then going to go and paste it into here, just like that. It's going to be a nice small image, and we're going to replace the Mercedes badge. That's literally what we're going to be doing. So right now, you can see that we have replaced the Mercedes badge, kind of. It's sort of there. It's a little bit different, but it works. That's all we care about. So once we've applied that there is two things that we need to do. Now, first of all, you need to go back to Mercedes decal copy, and obviously you want to start getting rid of it. So, whoops, forgot to rasterize the layer so I can edit it. Go around, and as you can see, I'm now just going to rub it out. It's giving me the wrong rubber, and as you can see, like I said before, it's a little bit slow, especially when you're editing. If you decide to edit without the Mercedes 3D car model in there, it'll be just like instant. That's what I found. But obviously, I'm running with the model in there, and my PC is very strong, but it's not the strongest thing in the world. There's mega stupid price PCs that will obviously do the better thing. So just wait for that to go on through, and eventually it will load on, and then we can get on to the next phase, which it has done now. So the next thing that we're going to be needing to do is where we have got our layer. As you can see, we've got something in the top that's called channels. This is going to be very important for you. When you click onto channels, you can see that you've got multiple sets of channels. And you've also got this one, the alpha channel. Now, I'm going to give you guys an explanation on this alpha channel. Everything in the alpha channel that is colored in white is going to show up in your game. Anything that is colored in black will not show up. So whilst I have copied and pasted my FoxyDude98 channel logo in here, it is not going to appear in game, because if we go to channels, it is still there. And this is something you really need to be careful of. When it comes to sorting out the liveries, there is no alpha channel. You can just change anything you want. You don't have to change the alpha channel. Whereas when you're working with decals, you've got to change the alpha channel before you go ahead and actually change the main channel. But how do we go about that? Now, obviously, the other important thing as well is don't forget that when you're making your changes to make sure that you've deleted stuff. For example, if I move my FoxyDude98 logo here, I can tell that right away the Mercedes-Benz badge is gone because I've coloured it out. However, despite the fact that I've actually coloured out the Mercedes-Benz badge, in the alpha channel it is still there. So we need to get rid of it. To get rid of the alpha channel, like I said before, all we've got to do is just colour it in black. So we're just going to go around the outside of the Mercedes-Benz badge and we're going to colour this all in black. Nice and simple, just like that. This now means that when we get to it, this is no longer going to appear in-game. There is just going to be a black spot by there. Now we want to get mine in there, but we only want to colour mine in, and we need to select this layer that we want to colour in. In order to do that, what you need to do is you need to click Control on your keyboard. Once you've clicked Control, you can see that Auto Select is removed, and you can see that right now I've got a little like square that's underneath my layer. Once you've clicked Control, keep holding the key down, and then you want to click, just left click as normal, and all of a sudden now you can see that my layer is there. So don't forget, once again, you just have to click Control, and then you've got to click and you get your layer up. Then you want to go back into channels. Once you've gone into channels, you need to go down to the alpha channel as before, and as you can see, my layer is selected. This means that no matter what I do, it is not going to color in any other place apart from this square box. So as you can see, if I click right there, you can see that it only clicked where my actual piece was within the circle. So now what we want to do is, well, just color it in. This is exactly what we want to do. We want to go through, color it all in, just like so. And there we go. Now, obviously, I have got, it's only just a white box, but that's kind of what we're intending for. Now, this logo is potential. I think this one goes on the side pod of the Mercedes, if I am correct in stating so. And so again, I just gotta wait for it to process. Yours may be faster than mine, like I said. But now, as you can see in the alpha channel, we have gone ahead and we have finally got now our logo in there, which means that both of my Mercedes livery and the Mercedes decals are ready to be imported into the game. So what we need to do is we need to save them. So for the liveries, all we need to do is we need to click File and then Save As. Now, once we've clicked File and Save As, I'm going to save them somewhere random. I'm just going to save them in the desktop for now. I can delete them afterwards, to be honest. All of this stuff here. Now, what you want to do is you want to be saving these as a DDS file format. Now, there is another way that you can save it, because I did it beforehand, but I found out that DDS is the best way. If I can find a link in the description, if I can find a link to the DDS files to download, I will give them to you. Obviously, I've got to be careful that the DDS file that I link is not like a dodgy one. So for now, I'll try my best to find one. But you, if you want to, just type in on Google DDS. In fact, I did it just now. In fact, I'll type it in again for you just so you can see it now. Like, if I just go to all, you can see here that you've got DDS files. Like, if I clicked on this one, for example, like free download, but that looks a bit dodgy, if you know what I mean. So if you just go onto DDS file, go ahead, find somewhere in there. You'll be able to go ahead and save as you would like this. Once you've done that, obviously, just click Save. And now it's going to come up with this here. Now, all we want to do is we just want to save the color. We're not saving color. We're not saving anything else. When you get to this, you've got, obviously, Intel Texture Works. You want to save the texture type as color. The compression is going to be BC1 4BPP sRGBX10+. Yeah, it sounds really dumb, and there's a few of them. Just leave it on these two settings that you can see here. Again, you've got obviously color plus alpha, all of these. Just leave it on those ones. Once you've done that, you just want to click OK. And that's it. That's now saved. Now, obviously, as you can see here, because we've saved it, it's no longer linking to our main model because we've saved it and we're trying to do something else with it. If in the future you want to make some edits towards your Mercedes or whatever car you're looking for, simply you've got another wireframe here, so you can just click on that one. This time it's a little bit less clear to see, but you've now got a red wireframe that you can use. You can still make the edits. However, I must warn you this. If you do decide to show the wireframe and you make changes, do not save your Photoshop document with the wireframe still visible. If you then import this into the F1 game, you are going to have the wireframe in your game as well. So you're going to have a red grid thing there, which isn't going to look very good. So probably don't do that. Then when we go to the Mercedes decal that we've made as well, we're going to do the same thing. File, save as, we're going to go to my desktop, and we're going to save this, like I said before, as a DDS file, if I can find it. And we're going to save it. This one is slightly different though. As we've been working in the alpha channel as well, we need to go ahead and go to color plus alpha to save it. And as you can see, I've already got it preset because obviously I've been using it before. With the compression, you want to leave this at BC3 8BP and you want to have sRGB DX10 plus, the same thing again. When it comes to mid-maps, leave everything else as the same. Leave it on auto-generate. The only thing you need to do is if you are working with alpha channels, you need to use color and alpha. If you're not working with that and you're just working with the color, leave it at color and you'll just be fine. Now, as you can see, we're going to pop those there. And that is that. And you can see, once again, if you need to make any further changes, you've got another wireframe. But like I said before, it's really not as clear as the one but like you've done previously. So make sure that you're extremely happy with what you have done, because it makes things a lot easier for you just for the future, that's all. Now that we're done with all of those, we're going to go ahead and actually import them. Once again, I will leave a link in the description down below to this software, but we're going to be using something called ERP Archiver. Now, this is what has been used for probably the last 3 years or so to make games themselves, or to import stuff as well. What we want to do is we want to click File and Open in the ERP Archiver. Now, I'm going to go straight from the start because you're probably not going to know where you're going. You want to go to OS, obviously, which is going to be on your PCs. You're going to go to Program File x86. Once you've clicked on Program Files x86, go all the way down to Steam. Click Steam. And then once you've done that one and you're on these new set of files, go down to Steam Apps. Click on that one, and then we've got a bunch here. What you want to click on next is you want to click on Common. Once you've clicked onto Common, obviously it's going to give you all of your Steam games that you currently have. Find F1 2018 and click onto that one next. Now, when we're going to be working in terms of importing stuff in ERP Archiver, this is going to be done within the Asset Groups file. So double click on the Asset Groups file. Once you've done that, now what we're doing is there's lots of different sections that you can work on, but for now we're working specifically on the vehicles. So we're going to go to the vehicle package section to do this. Once we're on the vehicle packages, we're specifically going to be editing the teams for this. Double click onto teams, and all of a sudden you've got a bunch of different cars here. We're specifically editing the Mercedes. That's what we're going to be working with. And then it's kind of simple from here. WEP, and then all of a sudden you've got Mercedes-Benz ERP file. Double click on that, and you're going to have all of this stuff. And it looks rather menacing. Trust me, it really isn't that menacing, and you won't have a lot of problems with it. Now, obviously, as you can see, I've got my my paint in there, because obviously with the F1 journey, I have a different paint in there. But obviously, I'm not that bothered at the moment, because if I go to my files, I can literally just go down to where my mods are for the F1 journey, which are all in here. This is everything that I've been making. If I go to my liveries and my Mercedes ones, you can see here that I've got the decal and I've got the paint. So, honestly, I'm not that concerned that things go wrong, plus I have a backup. So, what we want to be doing is, even though I've just found it straight away, if you're unsure how to find the one that you're on, you want to be looking for textures when you're in the ERP file. The first one we're going to be using is paint. Now, as you can see, we've got paint_C, paint_D, and paint_S. Honestly, I don't do anything with paint_S. I leave that the same. Now, I believe you could do something with it. Personally, I don't really know anything about it, so I leave it as it is, and it doesn't bug up the mod itself, so it's fine. Under here, what we want to do is we want to go to Textures, and we want to go to Import. Now, this is going to get quite complicated, so hopefully you can follow along and not get confused. Go to your desktop, where obviously you saved your other ones before. I actually need to find mine, because I have absolutely no idea where on earth they are. Oh, they're right in front of me here. So we want to go to the main paint, obviously, and we're going to double-click on it. Once we double-clicked on it, it basically now says select the map files and location and save it. Now, what you want to do is you want to start at OS, and you basically want to follow the same process that we did before. Program Files 86, go down to Steam, go down again to Steam Apps, Common, F1 2018. Now, this is where it gets slightly different. So we've gone through there. Just remember to look at those if you're getting a little bit lost. Then we want to, this time, rather than using asset groups, we need to go to Vehicle Packages. Go into Vehicle Packages, and you've got Shared and Teams. You want to double-click on Teams. Within here, then you want to click the team that you're editing at that time. Like I've said in this video, we are editing Mercedes. So we're going to go to Mercedes. Then we want to double click on textures. It's the only file you can click on, and all you've got to do is just click save. Now within here, it's going to tell you that you're going to override a specific file. You just want to click OK. Now as you can see on here, we've got the new livery that's coming up on our screens. And now once again, I'm just going to change the paint D file. Now this one I'm just going to speed through because it's kind of the same thing. It's just a case of me just basically going back and doing the same thing. And eventually you'll be doing it just as fast as this, just flying it on through. And that's how you go. And again, boom, you save it in that file and you've got the D file. Now what we want to do is we want to add the decal that we just put in originally. So once again, this is an easy way to go through where you're going. Straight away we can find decal here. And as you can see, we've got our decal. We're going to go to textures and import the exact same system again. In the desktop, we're going to go to the decals once again. Now, obviously, we're doing the exact same process again. This is how simple it sometimes can get. So when you're modding and you're doing all 10 teams constantly, it really is a bit of a fuss. But once again, program files, x86, Steam, Steam apps, common, F1 2018, vehicle packages, teams, Mercedes-Benz, obviously, because that's what we're doing, textures, and obviously, like I said, just save it as you did before, and boom, look, there is everything there. Now, once you've done that, it is critical that you go ahead and save. Once you've done that, you save the file, and that is everything. You have officially modded the livery and also the decal. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to load up F1 2018, and we're going to see if these mods are through. Now, make sure, obviously, a lot of the times, even though you save it, it doesn't actually save. So if you quit the ERP Archiver, it will tell you if you've saved it. Sometimes you save it, you quit the ERP Archiver, and it tells you, unsaved work, do you want to carry on again? And yeah, you can see my desktop background. If you don't really know me, I like Mercedes-Benz. I'm a fan of them. I've been a fan since they returned in 2010. Putting that out the way. But now what we're going to do is load up F1 2018 and we'll go from there. Alright then guys, so we are here now on the F1 2018 game itself. Now before we get into this, I need to put another disclaimer out here. As you can see with the control system, if I just go to the game options and obviously the settings right here and the controls, and all of this stuff, you can see here that I've got Xbox controller and it sounds completely strange. Just to confirm it out here, I have got an adapter, which basically means that I can play games on my PC with my controller. Some people ask that, some people will think, why are you telling me that? You should know already. What we're going to do is we're simply going to go to our Mercedes, and as you can see, obviously with it being the F1 journey, I've obviously got all the other mods installed and we can go through those, but we're just going to go to any Grand Prix itself. We're just going to go ahead and start it up. Hopefully then, by then, we'll have obviously the mod installed that we wanted to. And then that will pretty much wrap it up for the video of how to make a livery and also the decals for an F1 2018 car using the stuff that we have. And like I said before, everything that you need will be linked in the description down below, including that 3D model. Also included will be a DDS file. If I can find one, I'll link one. If I can't, I won't, just because I don't want to link something that's dodgy and gives you viruses. And then also, obviously, I will link the ERP Archiver and how to get that as well. So let's just wait for this to load. Alright, so as you can see, we're now racing alongwards, and I'm just going to sort of slow it down a little bit and sort of admire it. I've got a couple of screen freezes because this is what F1 likes to do with its life. It just screen freezes a lot. It's the definition. But if we go into photo mode right now, which was probably going to take about 10 years, if we now go over to the top of it, you can see right here that first of all, the Mercedes-Benz livery has changed to the black, and obviously it's got the blue stripes, so we can confirm that that's gone through. And the second thing to show is, as you can see, my logo is now on the side of the Mercedes-Benz, so that is how we go ahead and mod on F1 2018. That is pretty much all I've got to say for modding liveries and also decals. Just make sure that you've done exactly what I have said. If you have got any problems whilst modding, obviously just let me know in the comment section down below, and if I can try and find out where you're getting stuck on, just let me know, because I can go from there. If you guys have found this tutorial useful though, feel free to drop a like on the video. If you have also enjoyed this video and you're not a subscriber yet, feel free to click the subscribe button down below. That'd be absolutely awesome. And yeah, let me know what you want to see modded next time. Do you want me to have a look at the? Do you want me to look at the helmets? Do you want me to have a look at the names of different people, so you can change it to like I've got here, like Ocon and Mercedes and Hulkenberg and all that stuff? Let me know, and I will sort that out for another time. But thank you very much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys for the next one. Take care all. Peace.